Hello, this is my review of the 1/18th scale Beasts of the Mesozoic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, I've been looking forward to this figure for a very long time. It is one of my favorite dinosaurs. It's a lot of people's favorite dinosaur, but I I just love the T Rex. It's one of the most famous and greatest dinosaurs ever discovered. Like, it's pretty much the largest terrestrial predator to have ever existed. Like 9 or 10 tons. A bite force that's powerful enough to powderize someone's bones. Teeth as long as bananas. Incredibly great eyesight, better than that of a hawk's. And it is also said to be extremely intelligent. Maybe. Most, probably. But yeah, this figure is hefty. This figure is really big. So big that the instructions encourage you to not display this figure in one-legged poses or poses with only one articulated leg for extended periods of time. That's how big it is. The figure comes with like two sets of legs. Right now, I have it with one standing leg and one articulated leg. This right here is the standing leg. It doesn't have any articulation in the ankle, nor does it have articulation at the toes here. It just has a knee joint. That's it. Well, this is the articulated leg. It has articulation in the ankle and at the foot. And you can switch the feet out for different feet here, like these closed toes right here. These help you simulate it taking a step. Same with these bent toes here, which I have on the figure. Makes it look like it's walking. Switch out the feet. All you have to do is pop off the foot like that and take the other foot. It's really hard to get it in the joint. Come on. There we go. Yeah, see? Anyway, let's see. In order to switch out the feet, you have to take it off the base, and the instructions say to twist to take it off. The instructions say to twist to take the leg off, and when putting on the other leg, you push like that. And now the figure can stand on its own. See? Doesn't even need a base now. The legs here are actually really, really stable and sturdy. Nicely done. And you can also kind of fiddle with it. I mean, kind of limiting, but you know, what else are they gonna do? The joints are too weak to have it be posable like that all the time. I think this is the best thing they could have done here, because the only way they could have had joints strong enough to hold this hefty guy up is either by making them out of metal and making the joints so tight you need like a bolt or a screw or something to loosen them up to move, or make the figure hollow. But the production of the figure doesn't allow for that. Like, the process of making these figures doesn't allow for them to be hollow. Anyway, figure comes with a base as well. Nicely painted. It's got some roots on there. These metal pegs that you plug the feet in. See those peg holes? One sort of complaint I have is that the articulated leg feet, like the feet that you put on the articulated legs, they don't have peg holes. They don't have peg holes on them at all, which is kind of disappointing, because like, what if you wanted to make a display of it walking and you wanted both feet to be pegged in so that it can be as stable as possible? I think they should have at least put peg holes in all the alternate feet like they did with the Tyrannosaurus sinensis, which did have peg holes in each of the alternate feet. That would have been nice. Figure also comes with a card. Some really nice artwork on the back of it with the Beasts of the Mesozoic logo. You can see the Tyrannosaurus roaring or just opening its mouth. And you can also see some time period appropriate animals in the background, like another Tyrannosaurus and some Quetzalcoatlus. You know, I'm really hoping they make a Quetzalcoatlus figure in the future. We got stats on the back, as well as a picture of the figure and some information about it. Tyrannosaurus rex, name meaning tyrant lizard king. Length up to 12.4 meters or 40.7 feet. Weight 7,000 kilograms or 15,000 pounds. Location Western North America. Time period late Cretaceous. Discovered in 1902 by Barnum Brown. The most famous dinosaur of all time, Tyrannosaurus rex was among the largest land predators to ever exist. Despite it having the strongest estimated bite force of any terrestrial animal, there's been plenty of debate about whether or not it was a scavenger or hunter. Now, to answer that question, or that thing at the back, yes, Tyrannosaurus was a hunter. It wouldn't be opposed to eating a carcass now and then, but it definitely would have hunted. So Jack Horner can go suck it. The figure is really nicely painted. And it's got some beautiful details. Such great sculpting here. I mean, look at that. It's got like those bigger scales on the lips there. And it's also got these really nice eyes. These really bright blue, beautiful eyes. And it's got all these wrinkles on the neck. And it's even got an ear hole there. Look at that, it's got an ear hole. That's cool. The inside of the mouth is great. Look at that. The teeth are nicely sculpted and they're sharp. And I think the figure also has a opposable tongue. Yep, it does. Just like with every other figure, it has a opposable tongue. And when you close the mouth, the teeth are completely covered by the lips. That's nice. Such a beautiful animal. The figure runs the length of about 27 inches. Wow. 27 inches from head to tail. That is incredible. That is incredible there. Figure is also about 9 inches or so at the hip, about that, maybe 8.5 inches. And it is around 9.5 inches at the top of the neck. Right where the neck meets the head, it's about 9 inches, whereas it's about 8 or so inches at the hip. Let's see. The posability is also pretty good, though it is a little lacking for such a huge animal, such a big figure. It is a little bit lacking. It's got a joint here and joint here, but is covered in a soft plastic hoodie. Allows for some side to side. This hoodie piece is a bit free floating, so you gotta kind of, mess with it so that it is flush along the body. It's barely got any down movement here. That's about as far as it can look down without utilizing other joints like the hips or knees. And that's about as far as it can look up without utilizing other joints. Really nice how they painted underneath the neck covering as well, so that if you did put it in poses that move the neck covering a bit, you still have paint details there, and it's not just bare plastic. That's nice. It's got these tiny little arms, tiny little 2-fingered hands. Can move forward and back and in and out. The elbow can bend and swivel. The wrist can move in and out and can also swivel. You can give it the JP pose. You can give it the broken wrist look of the Jurassic Park T-Rex. But since this is meant to be accurate, I am never going to display it with broken wrists unless I explicitly say they're broken. The hips move back about that far before the sculpt pushes it back. You move forward pretty far, but you get a big joint cut there. They can move out pretty far. I already told you that there's a knee, and there are separate articulated legs that have ankle and foot articulation. There's a joint in the waist. Man, it's so... It can move down and up, bit side to side, barely at all. Really hard to pose this. You know, posing this kind of gives you a workout, huh? The base of the tail has a joint. Can move side to side. Oh. Yeah. It's connected with a ball joint. So it can move side to side, up and down. There's another joint that can move up and down, bit side to side. Then the last joint at the end, there's a ball joint here, and the end has a bendy wire. So that's the articulation. Oh man, that gave me a workout there. Oh wow. That's the articulation. Now on to size comparison. Here, the T-Rex is next to 1/18th scale figure of a human. My little green soldier. So, if you wanted to know how big a Tyrannosaurus Rex is, without having to go to a museum to see the skeleton display or anything, or having to interpret the height and length in mind, you just put a little 1/18th scale human here. You can see how big T-Rex is next to a person. So if you were like an average height guy, you would be about at the T-Rex's knee, a little shorter maybe. So yeah, really cool how small a person is next to a T-Rex. Like, this thing is so huge. I mean, look at how big its head is. Its head is about as long as the guy. And the arms don't look so small either once you get them next to a person. You see, they're like about as long as a person's arms. Really puts it into perspective that despite how small T-Rex arms may look, they're actually really pretty big next to a person. Another comparison is between the Hammond Collection T-Rex. Trying to get it in a pose that... Now look at that. That's the Hammond Collection T-Rex next to the beasts of the Mesozoic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Man, after looking at the beasts of the Mesozoic Tyrannosaurus Rex for so long, makes the Hammond Collection T-Rex's feet look way bigger than they should be. I mean, look at these. Look at how big the Hammond Collection T-Rex's feet are next to the BOTM T-Rex's feet. That's like... That makes it look comical, like it's got clown shoes on or something. It's like Sideshow Bob with his giant feet. But yeah, Hammond Collection T-Rex is about as tall as the BOTM T-Rex. And it's a lot skinnier too. It's like practically starving. And finally, for our last comparison, we have it next to the beasts of the Mesozoic Triceratops. Check that out for a size comparison. You can see how formidable it'd be against a T-Rex. I mean, look how huge it is. Horns are like right at that height. Like, horns are like the perfect height to stab into the T-Rex's chest right there. That's crazy. That's crazy how big these animals were. Anyway, I give the beasts of the Mesozoic T-Rex around an 8 or 9 out of 10. It is a really good. It is a really good Tyrannosaurus figure, really good Beasts of the Mesozoic figure, and a really good Tyrannosaurus figure in general. Just kind of wish that they made it a bit more posable. Maybe instead of having a flexible piece of plastic for the neck, they could have done something like the Hammond Collection T-Rex, which had one flexible piece here, and then another piece here, and then maybe they could have had another piece here. You know, instead of having the flexible piece span the entire neck, maybe it could have gone just halfway up the neck. So that way it could have gotten more posability. Also, would kind of wish that there would have been maybe at least maybe it could have been a little lighter. I know that the way they make these figures makes them as dense as possible. But maybe for the bigger figures, they could, try to make them a little lighter, give them a bit of hollowness. I know it makes it feel cheap, but I'd rather have it be hollow than it fall over all the time from how uh, heavy it is. And also, this thing is like really expensive. I think this figure goes for about like $229 or so on the Beasts of the Mesozoic website and on other websites that sell these figures. Just a lot of money. I mean, it's like $199 for the gray version, and the 1/35th scale is like around 70 or so dollars. So, for the people who really like T Rex and wanted to scale with all the other Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, get the 1/18th scale. If you want just a nice little T Rex toy or figure, that you can mess around with and then put it down super easily and quickly, then I guess get the 1/35th scale. So, yeah, about an 8 or so, 9 out of 10. Anyways, bye.